people and that culture of ownership is largely what's driven us, along with our purpose and our founders' ambitions. I think that's okay. I think the question around trying to empower, as in, so far we've been talking about dealing with, right? How do you build an organization that actually disrupts? How do you create a disruptive organization?
So I just add, I'll answer that question, and then unfortunately I have to leave for another appointment. So if you'll excuse me and indulge me. So to answer your question on both, how do you scale fast? And I'll use an example of actually in the same taxi vein of Uber and how they did something in India, right? Which is quite far from their headquarters, So they were, and their model was quite impressive. I thought in the initial 12-month rollout, literally a 3-person team came to Bangalore and launched all of Uber. In fact, I think you came to the dinner, right, when we launched them. So they called me and said, we're coming, Uber's going to launch in India, can you help us launch it? So we organized a party in the Leela, we called a whole bunch of folks. They hired, their usual marketing thing of lots of Mercedes and BMWs for the first couple of months, gave everybody rides, and they got the word out, right? That was the marketing thing. But it was actually only 3 people who launched. And I remember that night I was seeing Alan Penn, who's their international guy, saying, what's the deal? Are you going to be hiring one? He said, no, we don't hire anybody anyway. It's a 3-person team. We'll hire a city manager. We have 1 person for ops, and we have 1 person for taking care of the social media and everything else, right? That's it. And they said, and what we do is that we have a launch team that comes. The launch team works for about a month in that city, and then goes to the next city, the next city, the next city. And we have 3 or 4 these launch teams. They've all got a WhatsApp group, and they're all given a budget and unlimited freedom to go execute within that overall big budget. And it's a pretty big budget to launch a city. And that's it. You figure it out. You're in India, you have to figure out how to get 100 cars. And you just landed here from San Francisco. And they just figuring it out. And they even figured out how to tap into communities, so they find a way to collaborate. So they found the alumni networks, people they worked with, started asking, and then just basically rolling out from one city to the next. And that's the pace and urgency and delegation that's given them that massive premium, right? Whatever, I don't know what they're worth now, 40 billion or something, but 41 billion, so you're not exactly. But it's unbelievable. To create that kind of value, you can take all the car companies that make cars, Ford and all that, add them up. You don't get there, practically, in terms of actual value, right? And value per employee is unbelievable. And to do it halfway around the world, where you have no presence, all you have is, you go get a lawyer and you just jump in there and start. In a regulated environment, everything, whatever, right? People obviously, they have their critics in terms of how fast they go in various places. But this is the mantra of the disruptor. Just go get it done. Just do it. It's like that Nike ad, right? You just and big companies can follow this. There's no reason. In fact, the big companies have everything a startup lacks: resources, footprint, brand, cash in the bank, and yet they don't go build a small 4-person SWAT team and give them $2 million to go do something crazy, because everybody else is saying, what is that crazy project? Why aren't you reining them back? Why aren't they coming back to the mothership, right? In fact, the companies that are worth $1 billion should have 20 to $2 million projects going on. And guess what? One of them will hit and be more valuable than the company. You can see it in Paytm itself, right? Literally, 197 is an incubated company, or Paytm was an incubated company, and Paytm now probably the inverse, right? And it's like, sometimes you make a crazy investment decision. The Alibaba 1 billion that Jerry Yang wrote, right? Worth more than Yahoo completely. Yahoo's worth 3 billion. Alibaba's stock that they bought for 1 billion is worth 39 billion. And some crazy decisions that day, right? Somebody decided to write a $1 billion check to a Chinese entrepreneur, who turns out to be probably the most valuable company on the planet for, in terms of at least time to market, time to value, right? I think those kinds of risks, the big companies don't take risks. And they sit on a pile of cash, they sit on market, it erodes slowly. It's like watching a river go dry. That's exactly what happens. And so it happens again and again and again. It's a shocking frequency and well understood pattern, and still people don't do anything about it. And that's what's crazy for me, When I look at it and say, everybody knows. I can point out 10 companies that are going to go out of business, that have king of the hill status today, and still they won't do anything. It's the inertia of being a leader, right? In some sense. So, I've got a wheel. Sorry. Thank you so much. All of you.
Same question.
I think I'll agree to what Ravi said. In our company, what we do is we enable people to experiment. And because there are two things we need to keep in mind. One is cost of failure, and there's opportunity cost. We can definitely limit the cost of failure. Let's say you take an idea, you work on it. If idea is not fructifying, shut the project. You can contain the losses. But nobody knows what is the cost, what is the opportunity cost if the idea clicks. So we need to be very, very paranoid when we are working in such an environment. We should not let go any idea pass us without a little amount of due diligence. Extremely important, and that is what we have enabled in our company. We allow people to buy on credit cards, spend on few things, claim it from the company, but experiment.
So basically, when we come to the kind of people again, so we've always given opportunities to people, quite similar to Flipkart, right? So the base is business understanding. So do you understand the consumer? Do you understand the driver? Do you understand the operator? Do you understand what each one wants, right? As long as you understand that, whether you do marketing, supply, management, or HR or anything else, it doesn't matter. So I think giving importance to that whole understanding of the business, right? The trigger which will ignite the consumer to book more with us, or the drivers to like us more, right? We have an operator model which is slightly different from the other aggregators in the industry, and those operators just won't leave us, right? So those guys are there to manage the drivers, and we just I don't know why they don't want to leave us, right? There are enough offers for them to go here, there, everywhere, but they say I like the way you work, right? The way Taxify Show works. I understand how you work, and I don't see that happening anywhere else. So the culture bit as well. So business understanding and setting the right culture, not just within the organization, but in a disruptive industry like the taxi industry. Your partners who are working outside also need to kind of cling on to the culture and say, okay, no matter what you do, I will listen. Okay?
Yeah, so we'll open up a Q&A. I just want to share one HR innovation insight, or not innovation insight, but just an experience that we had at Flipkart. So I come from technology, hackathons there, and Flipkart technology are fairly common, have been happening for 5 years plus. Recently, our recruitment team that recruits for technology actually did what they called a recruitathon. And as part of that, the team actually came up with, as they couldn't code, most of them couldn't code, some of them actually tried and actually created solutions, but came up with ideas around how could recruiting happen, right? And how could they disrupt recruiting? And I was blown away, right? As in, ideas included, hey, we don't have to have resumes. We can have people introduce themselves on video. And gone is the time of text and scanning through text, and video is just so much more powerful. You can have an app which guides a candidate right through the entire process, that hey, this is the map, this is where you have to come, here's who you are meeting next. When you have a rejection, the app can explode and go away. And all of this, right, came from recruiters who just had space and time for a day. Right? All that they had was, hey, one day, no work, think. Right? Because all of us can. Right? In terms of people who can think, I believe all of us can think. It is mostly about creating that space and time, energizing them and showing the right direction that makes that innovation/disruption happen. All right, with that, open up for Q&A from the audience.
Myself is Garain. For 5 years I was an HR professional. In the past 3 years I've been an entrepreneur and had 2 failures. The reason I chose to raise my hand is you just spoke about video resumes. We run a job portal with video resumes, and my question is a little different. I don't want to talk about my product. My question is, as 5 years as an HR professional, I was in its own cocoon, and as an entrepreneur, I had to go. Now I have to go and sell to HR people. So I find not too many HR folks out there with, at the mid-level management with open minds, right? I mean, they're still stuck in the Excel world. Oh, you look up in pivot table will all solve my problems. Okay. So what are the initiatives like? One is the recruitment. Initiatives like this. What are the other kind of initiatives? Are there enough initiatives across board which are taken from the HR fraternity to educate people who are down, the ladder also, that innovation is also important so that the entire organization goes forward? Just to understand from you folks.
For me also HR is new. I only moved to HR last 3 months. Coming from an outside, I tend to agree, and that is somewhere I feel, that when you do things day in and day out, same thing every day, it creates some kind of a boundaries. We create some kind of a boundaries around us, and there are so much of transactions, which happen on the floor. We are virtually not giving any time to anyone to think. And I believe, when we are not giving time for people to think, it's like a stale water. There, no innovation, no fresh ideas, no thinking can happen. So it's extremely important, one, that organizations shuffle. I strongly believe, that rotation is extremely important. A rotation across job functions, rotation within HR itself. So that people can think differently. People get some time. Okay, when I was in recruitment, I was doing things in this fashion. Now I have moved to, let's say, business partner. How I see recruitment now and what kind of improvement I can bring in business partner, since I was looking at it from the outside. So that rotation is extremely important. Unless until that rotation is there, expecting that openness will be more exception rather than the norm.
Yeah, so in HR, and I had a lot to learn in this 1 year. He told me, and I realized the sarcasm later, he told me that HR folks are highly solution-centric. That to me as an engineer sounded right, that hey, we should be solution-centric. And then he added that very often HR people don't think about the problem. It's like there is a solution in mind and you go ahead with the solution. It's the same thing that Ganesh talked about, that HR for Tutor Vista had to be done very, very differently. So you have to think and understand the purpose or the problem very deeply, and that is one thing that if we as a fraternity start pushing a lot more on that, hey, what is the purpose? Why are we even doing this? And what is it supposed to achieve? And is it achieving that? And start measuring ourselves on what a performance review system or a performance management system should be achieving, and is it actually helping achieve performance? If not, then is this system really working? If not, then what should be done? Or how can we then create it? But starting with why, and I don't know how many of you read or heard Simon Sinek, powerful concepts there, both the golden circle and just starting with why. just help clarify that, yeah, this is the problem that you're trying to solve, and let's stay at the problem and ensure that we create the right solution. Instead of creating a solution and just making a solution better and better and better. Next question.
Yeah, reminded of a book that I read a few years back, The New Thing, the biography of Jim Clark, perhaps the greatest serial disruptor of modern times. So one of his biggest grounds is about the disruptors of the previous generation, the Microsofts and the Time Warners. So when he was trying to set up Heldian, Silicon Graphics at scale, how all of them came together to kill and destroy his new companies. So how do you think these companies, sort of transit from disruptors to destroyers? That's my first question. And has the scene changed now, in the last 20-25 years?
I don't think you need to worry about that too much. Okay, right? What's happening with the new age company? The old age companies have no clue, so that they will be able to get together to destroy is. I don't think we need to worry about that. Okay, right? Because the pace of change is so fast. One, two, the DNA required is very different. And three, legacy actually pulls it down. Right? Every time I start a new company, the challenge is how to get away from the previous learning, previous experience, and even previous success, which dulls you into think that that's the right way to do. So unlearning is important. Unlearning, especially if you have succeeded, is all the more important because it gives you a sense of belief that what has been right there will be able to what you there will get you there. So I don't think we need to worry. What you need to worry or what you need to think about it is what can potentially they do to be able to combine the new and old. For example, when Netflix we talked about, when Netflix was long, Blockbuster had a major issue because Netflix disrupted Blockbuster. Then Blockbuster said, listen, I have physical stores. So in addition to whatever Netflix provides, I can also give you pick up or drop at the store. If you don't want to receive it, you can come and return it there. And they will have to do it. Or in case of say e-commerce or big basket kind of e-grocery model, what is it that Reliance, Aditya, all of them moving can do? Can they actually kill? They can't kill. But what is the fear? If they use the physical depots or physical reach points and all that stuff, they can and combine many of the aspects of the e-commerce or e-grocery into it. Then they can be formidable competition. So they won't be destroyer, but you can't wish them away. They can do a lot.
It self-destructs by not disrupting itself. Right? If they're not ready to disrupt their own thought process, I think they'll self-destroy rather than.
I've given recently.
Then how can the company stay new?
Yeah, so
if Google cannot create Facebook, then who will create the next thing?
Yeah. And I think network and not necessarily succeeded deeply at it, though it has succeeded at creating multiple other things. Right? Just by experimenting enough, you have a good shot at possibly creating the new. Right? What Ravi said when he was here, that if you have 20 ideas going on, there is a chance that one of those 20 might be bigger than what you are today.
HR. As HR, without all the jargon, we always the bridge. Something goes wrong with employees, blame it on the HR. And as you said, sir, if the leaders are not happy with something, blame it on the HR. And then we always caught between. There are a lot of things that we want to sort out, but we always caught in between. Now, for example, taxi for sure. Now, you told us that you come with a lot of passion. You come with a vision, and then you have interviews at 10 p.m. in the night and all of that. And yes, you're able to meet. Maybe at this point of time, you're able to meet most of your employees one-on-one and drive in your vision and see the culture fit and everything. But when the company scales up, I'm sure that is definitely what you want to do in the future. When this company scales up, now let's take the example of Infosys. Now, how many of them have the passion that Narendra Modi has? You read about him, you just read some of his articles, you feel the vibe, but then I meet some of the employees, some of my friends are employees, and they're like, oh man, let's just go check out at some time, and have meetings and try and waste the resources. And as a HR, I get angry at all of that. There's so much of resources being wasted, so much manpower being wasted, which could be used in a very efficient way for the simple reason that the vision of the people at the top has not been communicated down. We do have town halls, we do have, walks happening and everything, but in a disruptive model, how do you think this can be cascaded now?
Reach the stage where we're close to 50 cities across India, and we're operating with remote people across. Delhi is very different from Mumbai, is very different from Hyderabad, and yes, it is a challenge. But at the end of it, so finally it is boiling down to, in Hyderabad, taking the ownership. So let's say there's a branch head for us in Hyderabad, right? He is in constant touch with us, right? And he knows what he has to do in Hyderabad and how he wants, the drivers of Hyderabad to feel and the consumers of Hyderabad to feel, right? And that is, one is measurement of it, right? And the other is a sense of achievement and celebrating it, right? So you communicate to the right person, that gets communicated down further, that is one. Second is, you measure, okay, what is the driver satisfaction score? What is the consumer satisfaction score? Right? That is what is most important. And, after that, a sense of achievement and celebrating that, right? So you achieve something, go out and celebrate it. Whether you give a person a reward, whether you announce his name out on the intranet, those are things that have to keep happening, right? And at the end of it, the sharing of the vision from here, as in from us to the branch head to each of his team, I think that is critical. And that has to, you can never say, I've communicated once and they'll all understand, you will have to over communicate.
As somebody who's going through that journey or who's gone through that journey in terms of scale, I can add that it's not easy, right? There is a reason why we don't see very, very big companies being able to disrupt themselves and create the new generation products, new generation future. That said, I think a lot of areas here are areas where there are experiments that have worked for a lot of companies which you can learn from. I think over-communicating is clearly one piece. I think there were other conversations we had around small teams, clearly defined goals, and a lot of independence, a lot of empowerment. Allows for that same small company feeling to get created in many, many pockets, right? And that's one way in which a lot of companies have actually created that energy, created that passion, and created business success as part of it. I'm told that was the last question, facing time. But bunch of us are here. I'll let Bala.
They'll be around here. I worked with Asian Paints for 5 years. I worked with GE for about 7-8 years. These are companies that have been there for 50 years, 100 years. They completely reinvent themselves every few years. I think that's the takeaway for me. Even brick and mortar companies that have been around for 100 years and 50 years, to stay ahead. Asian Paints, for example, the most expensive paint stock in the world today, right? Reinventing themselves every few years. GE, everyone knows about it. So thanks a ton. All the SMS messages I've been getting says insight, excellent insight. Thank you so much. So all credit to you guys. I called 5. Please be seated. I called 5 of them, and all the 5 accepted. We did not go beyond the 5 who were here on the stage. Thanks to Ramco for putting it all together in terms of the concept. And also like to share that since November, Ramco is also one of our monthly meeting partners. So along with Randstad, Ramco is a partner for us, and they said we want to be actively involved in designing your programs. And we sat together and brainstormed, and they sent me this pitch, 20-minute presentation that Raghu did, and immediately I fell for it. I said, yes, this will provoke people. And this will energize people. More than provoke, you guys the purpose of today's session was to energize all of you, saying that there is a lot of possibilities for us around here. So thanks a ton to Prakash. Can you please stand up, Prakash? There he is. He's the architect of today's session. And then we got this powerful panel here, very accomplished panel. Thanks to each one of you for being here. As a memento, we'd like to give away an NHRD plaque as well as a bouquet of flowers to all of you. May I request Dr. Anil, one of our advisory board members, to come and give it away to Raghu from Ramco. May I, yes sir, our friend here, please come. One person who never misses any of our NHRD. Can I please request Major Bardova to come and give away to Dr. Mayor, please? And I'll invite Prakash from Ramco to come over here for the bouquet and the plaque to Mecken. Yeah, so Mecken wrote to me, what role is it for me, and we exchanged several mails, we spoke to each other. I think he's done a fabulous job. Thank you so much for putting it all together. Thank you. Thanks guys, and not to remind you again, February, last Thursday, same place. Please come back for some insights on family-run businesses. Thank you so much. And they're all available here, so those of you who didn't get an opportunity, you can chat up with them. Thank you.